So Wendy, I'm supposed to be, I just talked to Laura. Do you remember Laura Abi Habib? Laura and Betty Hill? They were maybe not in our section. I mean, not in your section. We're gonna get together and do the law school reunion thing. So I'm putting you on a committee.
Okay. I'm in.
All right.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yes. But we need to, one thing I was telling everybody, we'll have to figure out location. And of course, you know, my location, I'm always like, hey, let's do international travel.
I'm in.
Okay, awesome. It's gonna be great. Oh, see, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's the best.
I think that's exactly why.
All right, everyone. Good morning. Sorry about the late start. There was an accident on 90. And although people on the court staff and everybody said they were concerned about me because I was not here, but they didn't call anybody. And Norma was like, I was going to call your mom. But Sean, what were you going to do? Okay, I'm going to give you my mom's number. I don't know what everybody else was going to do, but you know.
I was gonna wait for a few minutes. I want to put her in the panic.
Well, Jason said he was going to wait. If I didn't show up tomorrow, then he'd know something was wrong. But Sean, thank you for the prayer. But I will tell you, it appears that everybody was all right from the accident. And then once I made it through the accident, then they had construction during rush hour traffic. Oh, well. All right. I know Mr. Henry Peterson is here because I saw him outside around there you are. Thank you. Eric Arocha is in custody. Louis Thompson, custody. Michael Cox. Thank you. Brandon Morris.
She's the one that's in federal custody.
All right, thank you. We need to figure out what we're going to do with that. Christopher McCullough is in jail. Robert Uridalis. Robert Anthony Uridalis. Fernando Carmona. Alay Garcia in custody. Eduardo Reyes, custody. Nicole Casemiro. All right, thank you. George Kelly. Juan Luis Delgado and April Ramirez, that's at 11. Oh, you're here, thank you. Are you Juan Delgado? Thank you.
Miss Ramirez, hospital.
All right, thank you. Chris Lynn is in custody. Jose Ruiz, Roberto Mendoza, custody. Robert Reyna. Thank you. Raul Reyes is in custody. Hector Rodriguez, custody. Jason Hickman, custody. Celine Breard. Thank you. How do you pronounce your last name? Breard, okay. Pedro Nieto, custody. Daniel Perez. Adam Morales, custody. Victor Espinoza. Thank you. Stephen Ward. Fernando Zapeda. Thank you. All right. Is there anyone whose name was not called? All right. And today, Norma, I always plan to be in court early, but even with all of my extra planning, I was still late. So anybody who plans like I plan, if they're late today, I'm going to be forgiving of that. All right, everyone, please confer. I think you all know my rules.
Peterson.
All right, where's Mr. Peterson? All right, could I have the parties on Peterson? All right, court is calling 2022 CR 3176, State of Texas versus Henry Lee Peterson. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Only a honest.
And are you Mr. Peterson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Peterson, you entered a plea to the offense of driving while intoxicated third or more as a second degree felony because there was an enhancement of the you were, I think there's no application. Yeah, there's an application for community supervision. Some of the paperwork says application for deferred adjudication, but I see Judge Angelini took your plea. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison, and the state is opposing your application. The court is aware of the reason for the state opposing your application. I ordered that the defendant be referred for felony drug court. The court received a report that felony drug court would accept him. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mhm. So this is the court's view on some cases. I understand that driving while intoxicated cases are on the rise in San Antonio. They're on the rise everywhere because people feel as though alcohol is not illegal, and it's not illegal. And so people drink, and we have some people who cannot drink in moderation. They drink, and then they drive. I always tell people, if your plans are, I'm going to dinner, I'm going to have a drink at a restaurant, then automatically just have somebody else to drive. I used to always be the designated driver for my friends because I just don't like the way alcohol tastes. So I never acquired a taste for it. Mr. Peterson, I could sentence you to 10 years in prison. And let me just tell you what would end up happening. You'd go to prison for 10 years. Hopefully you would have learned your lesson. You get out. You probably wouldn't serve the entire 10 years. And then if you've had no treatment, you probably end up drinking and driving again and maybe hitting someone. What I'm going to do is I can either send you to 10 years to prison. I'm going to give you a choice. You can either go to prison for 10 years, or either you can go to the felony drug court. Felony drug court is not easy. People think treatment courts are easy. They're not, because one, you have to start being honest with yourself, honest about your problem. And two, it's a very intensive program. They see you every day. You're doing something every day. So if you need to discuss it with your attorney, you can. So either you can go to prison, which really is the easy way, or either you can go to felony drug court. Felony drug court has told me that they're willing to accept you.
Can I speak, Aaron?
Yes.
I've talked to the felony drug court and I agreed on the treatment. And they told me it is a hard treatment. It's 18 months to 24 months. I'm willing to do that. And they told me I have another meeting with them on the 20th. And I'm supposed to call them, if I leave the courtroom today, I'm supposed to call them and let them know what the outcome was in court.
Okay.
And we did discuss this yesterday, Judge. Mr. Peterson and I had a telephone conversation yesterday about all this.
Okay. And stay.
Judge, I just want to make sure just that it's on the record. We did oppose because it
Yes.
was an extremely high BAC. He was involved in an accident. It was something that was just a major concern for us.
Okay. And the court has read the stipulations. And the court realizes there was an extremely high blow. And I'll note this is a DWI. It's not an intoxication assault. It's not an intoxication manslaughter, but for the court, in this case, the easy way out is to give him 10 years prison. And he goes and he comes out. And when he comes out, what will end up happening is 9 times out of 10, he's going to use again because he doesn't have the tools. And I don't think have you ever been in felony drug court before?
Oh, Your Honor.
Right. So I don't think he's ever had the opportunity to have the intensive treatment that he should be receiving. And I don't believe that felony drug court probably wasn't in existence, or he probably wasn't referred to felony drug court when he first got his DWI. It's too bad that there were not treatment courts in existence for you when you first got your DWI. I'm going to send you there. And what I can tell you is the length of time I'm going to put you on probation is actually going to be longer than felony drug court is if you successfully complete it. And driving while intoxicated cases, you're not allowed to terminate early. All right, you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to give you your conditions. Once I give you your conditions, felony drug court and that Judge Glenn, will be in charge of your probation and conditions. I've already let Judge Glenn know and the other treatment courts know that when I give you conditions, if when working with you, they discover that your conditions should be something different, or if when working with you, they think it should be more intensive than what I'm giving you, they always have the authority and my permission to change your conditions. So while you're in felony drug court, you will be reporting to felony drug court. You will not be reporting to this court. The only time I want to see you back here is if you're graduating for felony drug court and you're asking me to attend your graduation, which if I'm in San Antonio, I always attend felony court graduations. All right, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
And is there a restitution?
Judge, I don't believe there was.
Okay. All right, so this is what the court will do. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's a $2,500 fine that will be probated. The referral to felony drug court. If he's not accepted, which I know he's already been accepted in felony drug court, but if he's not accepted in felony drug court, then I'm going to ask for 90 days Bexar County Jail as a condition. You're not driving, correct?
No, Your Honor.
All right. There's to be no driving for the length of probation. Felony drug court may decide to change that, but that will be under the purview of felony drug court. There's to be a Texas driver's license suspension for 2 years. The DWI course, VIP Live, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, proof of employment within 30 days. And I know you're already employed, but there's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And probation, I'm going to ask for field visits, but I already know felony drug court will be doing that. But field visits, 1 time per month until further notice. And I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting any other conditions for driving while intoxicated. It's, the education course, DWI education.
Well,
It's intervention, Judge.
Yes. Yes,
for this one, it will be the intervention, DWI intervention.
okay,
And the vapor intervention.
all right. And that will be VIP Live. I think I just said VIP, okay. All right, and then there'll be 300 hours of community service restitution. And I'm not going to add anything other than the 300 hours of the community service restitution, because sometimes felony drug court will do certain things with those hours if you're doing well in their program. And so I'm just going to leave it as 300 hours community service restitution.
Thank you.
And there will be regular UAs and the alcohol monitoring device. And for that, it'll be whichever one is least expensive. I think he's doing UAs weekly because there was an issue with the device.
So,
Correct.
so Your Honor, let me clarify, ETG UAs.
Yes.
That's testing for alcohol, and then you want the portable device?
Yes, but I'm asking for the portable device. I know there were some issues with the portable device saying that he was testing positive, even though he wasn't positive,
Oh,
because
remember that.
because then what we started doing was having him come in. So felony drug court will do something with that, and counsel, you'll have to let felony drug court know there was an issue with the portable device for them, and they'll take care of that.
I'll let them know, Judge, and I believe that the problem was with the scram device. as well.
Yes. Okay, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Counsel. I'll go around. See, people want to reach through. All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I did read the PSI report, and I did read the letters that were submitted. All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Peterson, you're gonna have to make sure that you do what you need to do. You understand?
Yes.
Otherwise, you're looking at 10 years in prison, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. To talk to probation, okay. All right, who's here on Carlos Madrigal Hernandez?
Judge, I'm here on that.
Yes,
Yeah, of course.
yes.
Judge, I filed a motion to continuance, asking the court to continue the plea deadline.
Mhm.
As it's set on the motion, Mr. Madrigal is set on Monday.
Mhm.
And it's his second setting after he's been indicted. I've been on the case, I think, since mid-January. Yes, he has multiple cases, both in this court and then it's scattered out amongst like two or three other different courts. And there's just an extensive amount of discovery that I need to go through, and I haven't had the opportunity to do that. So what we're asking the court to do is just give us one more plea deadline instead of being on the second setting. If we have a plea deadline on the third setting, I think we can probably feel more comfortable resolving everything. Mr. Madrigal's been in jail up until just recently, and he's been on full house arrest up until I think yesterday. So it's been challenging to get hold of him. I'm going to be out of town the rest of this week, and I'll be back Monday. But Monday I've got to pick up my mother from respite care. My mother lives with him. He has dementia. He's in respite care this weekend. The next 5 days. I have to pick her up Monday before 11.
Okay.
So it's going to be a bit of a challenge, and I just need some more time to finish the discovery.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Okay, just give us a moment.
So,
I'll see if we can move it to the 24th.
okay,
All right, so just give us a moment.
but thank you.
You're welcome. Who's here on Nicole Casemiro? All right, and where is Miss Casemiro?
Richard, yes, but we have already advanced them. I filed a motion to withdraw and but had no contact. Our letter no return. Called the person who issued signing contract.
All right. Can you all check to see if Miss Casemiro is in custody?
Yes, I can.
The cause number is 2023 CR 1082. All right, thank you. And is it a fugitive on both of her cases?
Plus a few misdemeanors.
Okay. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Once she's arrested, then we'll call you.
Do the motion to withdraw the time or?
Oh, you have a motion to withdraw. I'm so sorry. Let me take that up. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, okay. And were you appointed or retained?
I was retained, Your Honor.
Okay, and you're doing a motion to withdraw in each case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, court is going to call 2020 CR 2291 and 2023 CR 1082, State of Texas versus Nicole Casemiro. If we're gonna have parties for the state, for the defense.
Let him pay for the defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:42 a.m. Ms. Casemiro is not present, and there was a bond forfeiture on March 9th for the defendant. She left the courtroom and never returned. And just so the record is clear, on January 7th, 2021, the court remanded her without bond and issued a bond forfeiture. On October 25th, the case was recalled for October 26, 2021. On October 26th, then the case was recalled for November 17th. On December 19th, the case was recalled at the request of the attorney. On February 8th, this case was set for a contested hearing. Then the case was recalled on March 9th at the request of the attorney. And then on March 9th, the defendant left the courtroom and did not return. Deputy Laura, can you see if there's a Nicole Casemiro outside?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Stating each of these cause numbers, defense counsel has filed a motion to withdraw. Do you have any objection to the motion to withdraw?
No objection to have state, Your Honor.
All right, in defense, have you tried to reach out to your client to inform them of the motion to withdraw?
I had, Your Honor, we sent a letter to both her and to the initial person who hired us. We also contacted the bonds company. They're actively looking for her. We've had no response.
All right, in each of the cause numbers, defense counsel's motion to withdraw is granted. Yes, you may be excused. Norma, on Casemiro, when she's in custody, she's probably going to need an attorney appointed.
Just wanted to make sure there was a copy of the motion.
It should be.
Who's here on? Oh, Carlos. Norma, on Carlos Madrigal Hernandez, it's set for Monday.
It is. That's the second thing. I think the court gave us that as the plea deadline.
All right. Can you move this for either April 24th or 25th? He's in custody.
He's not in custody.
Oh, he's on bond.
He's on bond. And I'm sorry, Is there a way that we can do it the week after that? Because I'd have to be in Kimball County next week also, for a couple days.
What are you doing in Kendall County?
Not Kimball. On a trafficking case,
I'm sorry, what?
trafficking case.
Okay. All right, Norma, can you put this for the first week in May? All right, May 1st.
Thank you, Judge, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Mr. Madrigal, won't need to be here Monday.
No, he won't, but he'll need to be here on May 1st. Can you let Judge know?
Yes.
All right, let me grant this.
Thank you, Judge, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna make, so we can do the system right.
Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And let me write in here.
Yeah, perfect. And then I'll wait to hear from Priscilla. I'll call her.
Who's here on Jose Ruiz? Jose Angel Ruiz. Oh, just 1 second. They need to, Miss Conley, just a second. They need to bring your client up.
We'll see if you can add somebody to your docket next week. He's in jail. I'm all about filling your docket single-handedly.
I appreciate that.
Hear that?
Norma, this goes in that file.
Oh, okay.
His cause number is 2021
Victor Espinoza. Hi, who are you here for?
8111A.
Oh, the one I just called? Yeah,
8111A.
so it'll be back on
He said on the
Monday
table
because
when he
defense
said-
attorney's mom is in respite care, so this is his only break because he's caring for his mom.
Thank you.
You should let us know next time, then we can say, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Picture the grocery run.
yes. All right, have you conferred with the state?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Okay, defense is on this side. All right, who's the prosecutor on Victor Amador Espinoza? All right, court is calling 2022 CR 7419, State of Texas versus Victor Amador Espinoza. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Ruben Herrera for the state.
defense?
James Dykes on behalf of Victor Espinoza.
And are you Mr. Espinoza? All right, the defense has filed a motion to modify conditions of probation. State, have you a chance to review that?
Have Your Honor.
State, do you have any objections?
No objection, Your Honor, based on the allegations in the motion, as well as our inability to contact the complaining witness on this case. We would have no objection. I do believe Mr. Dykes has reached out to a family member who will see that Mr. Espinoza, the complaining witness on the case, would be available via Zoom, just so that we can question him and make sure that this is his wish.
Okay, so, he's on Zoom now. Frank Espinoza. I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you. Can you turn on your audio?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Are you
Okay.
Frank Espinoza?
I'm his son. My dad is right here with me.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Espinoza. I'm sorry, can you move the camera down because I can't see his face, sir?
Move the camera down. Let me see.
And over. Hi.
It's me.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm sitting down here.
Okay, are you doing okay today?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna go on the record. I need y'all to whisper. All right.
You want me to?
Yeah, just 1 moment, please. Oh, no, you don't whisper. Thank you. Just give me a moment, okay?
Go ahead.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, please?
Sure.
Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I will.
All right, you can lower your hand. Could you state your name?
Frank A. Espinoza.
All right. Do you know Victor Espinoza?
That absolutely. He lives
Who
with
is
me.
He lives with you? Who is he to you?
Pardon?
What is his relationship to you?
Grandson.
All right. And how's your relationship? Do you all get along together?
Absolutely. Like brothers and sisters.
Okay. So are you working or no?
Me?
Yes.
I'm a retired Marine.
Oh, thank you so much for your service. When did you retire?
Oh, a long time ago, about 5-6 years ago.
All right. So how do you spend your day?
I always have something to do. Marines always have something to do.
So what do you like to do?
I work on my farm.
So what do you have plants on your farm? What do you have on the farm?
Not very much out there, just a place to go out there and hide.
Okay, what are you hiding? What or who are you hiding from?
From the salesman.
My grandmother used to do that all the time.
Dave,
So
I have a lot-
what salesmen come out now? When I was growing up, it used to be the insurance salesman and the person who was selling encyclopedias.
Oh, yes. There's always some salesman going out there to the farm to try to, create a sale or something.
Well, don't do that. I think farms are beautiful. Do you have any chickens on the farm?
No, I don't leave out there anymore. I just go and spend the day, As a matter of fact, I'm trying to find out right now, what to do with it. But I think I have that problem solved already.
Oh, how did you solve that problem?
Because my son-in-law may buy the farm.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
My God, how old am I, son? 92 years old.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations. When's your birthday?
March 9, 1931.
Oh, that is fantastic.
We Marines last a long time, even after the battles that we went through.
Oh, that is fantastic.
I'm a retired Marine.
So do you have any plans for upcoming birthdays, or once you reach 90, do you just celebrate every day?
To me, every day is a celebration, because I was in 2 wars, Korea and Vietnam.
Oh, well, I think you should celebrate every day.
I do, and I celebrate with my good Lord Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. You always have to give thanks. So what do you have planned for today?
The routine, I have a lot of work to do here at the house.
All right. Is everybody treating you all right?
Everybody that I know of, I can rightfully say right now, I don't have any enemies.
Okay. That's a good thing, not to have any enemies. All right. Thank you so much for talking to me. State, you have any questions?
Just briefly, Your Honor.
Mr. Ruben may have some questions for you, okay?
Sure.
All right, you can go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Espinoza. My name is Ruben Herrera. I'm the prosecutor.
Everyone, please whisper.
In this case, I just want to ask you a couple questions. Mr. Espinoza, are you being treated for dementia at this time?
I can hardly hear you.
Are you being treated for dementia?
I think you may need to ask Victor that. Mr. Espinoza, are you seeing a doctor?
Well, I see him when I need to. I don't
All
make
right.
it.
What are you seeing a doctor for?
Just for a checkup.
All right, what are they checking you up for?
Well, the thing is, that most of the time the VA sends somebody to my house to check me out.
Okay.
Physical therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah, physical therapy, They come and visit me quite often, you know, and I'm still working. I got a farm. I got plenty to do at the farm.
And Mr. Espinoza, does Victor help take care of you?
Who, Victor?
Victor,
Yeah, he takes care of me.
and do you want him to continue taking care of you?
Absolutely. He's my right hand.
Thank you, Mr. Espinoza. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Espinoza, do you, and you can let me know, and it'll just, be us. But are you afraid at all of Victor?
None whatsoever.
Okay. And is Victor patient with you?
Oh, yeah. He's very patient with me.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Espinoza. It was great talking to you. I bet you have a lot of history I could learn from you.
Yeah, I'm writing a book about my experiences in the Marine Corps. I'm a retired Marine.
Okay, awesome. Well, when you write the book, I tell you what, I will definitely buy it.
Good, good. You're my first customer then.
Yes, but I will tell you this, I'm going to want you to autograph it, okay? And sign it
Absolutely.
for me. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Espinoza.
You're quite welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. And so who's there with him?
I'm his son.
My son is here, Frank
All
Jr.
right. All right, Mr. Espinoza, do you mind if I speak with your son?
He's right here.
Okay. Hi, could I raise? Hi, could you raise your hand for me, please?
Okay, I don't know if you can see my hand or not. There it
Yeah.
is.
You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
All right, you can lower your hand off the record for a moment. Everyone, if you're in the jury box, number one, if you're behind the court reporter, do not talk because it interferes with her ability to hear us. Number two, if you're in the jury box and you're not behind the court reporter and you're talking, you need to whisper. If you don't know how to whisper, then you cannot talk in the jury box. All right, Mr. Espinoza, can you state your name for the record, please?
Frank H. Espinoza.
All right. What is your relationship to Victor Amador Espinoza?
Well, biologically, he's my sister's son, but he's my adopted brother. My dad and mom adopted Victor when he was little.
All right. Are there any issues with Victor?
No. You mean adversely or
Yes,
no?
because we're here for an injury case. Could you please stop rocking back and forth? Thank you. We're here for an injury case, and I'm trying to make a determination of whether or not he should be around your father.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that.
Because I understand that sometimes people will say, I really need this person in their life because they're helping with their health care or they're helping watch them. But I don't want anyone watching someone who's not patient with them, who's not kind to them. So this entire hearing is for me to determine that. The state is saying they're in agreement that he's allowed to be around your father, but I need to know for my benefit whether I think he's a person who should be around your father by himself.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
So I'm trying to understand what's the relationship to be between Victor and your father and concerns you have. And if there are concerns, I need to know them now so that I can make decisions that hopefully are appropriate and hopefully will keep your father safe.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell me what is the relationship like?
Right now, it's very cordial. Because I was taking care of my dad while Victor was not around, I know what Victor's going through, and I don't know how to describe it. My dad is a handful, and it only takes a certain kind of person to be able to handle him, and so far so good.
Okay. All right, state defense, any questions?
No questions.
All right, and you have no concerns with Victor being around your father?
No, not at all.
And if I were to,
and I go very often. I'm there at least 3 or 4 times a week.
okay. And let me ask you this, if I were allowed this, would you be able to drop in to make sure everything's okay at least once a day? Just to
Once a
drop
day?
in? Yes. Does your father live near you or no?
Relatively, we're about 7 miles apart. He's by San Antonio College and I'm by 410 in Blanco Road.
All right, well, would you be able to drop in every day or once every 2 days to make sure that everything is going well?
Yes, in fact, nothing's changed. I would be able to do that. I will continue to do that.
Okay. Any more questions? All right, thank you so much. And tell your father I said happy birth year. I usually do birth months, but tell him happy birth year. And once he writes his book, I definitely want it autographed.
Oh, will do. And he's right here. He's right here next to me. He can hear you very well.
All right, and tell him thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, Dad.
You're quite welcome.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Just 1 second. Bye-bye. Thank you for zooming in. And
Okay,
everyone,
you.
if a 91-year-old can zoom in, the rest of you all should be able to zoom in.
okay.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
You
Thank
too,
you.
ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Your Honor, thank you for affording me this opportunity. I just wanted to.
Let me have you raise your right hand.
I'm sorry.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Bexar Espinoza.
All right, do you wish to ask questions or?
May I have
Sure.
Just wanted- None of the other questions is with my parents. I've been personally involved.
Your Honor, at this time, my client just wants to provide you with some additional context with his relationship to his father.
Oh, you can provide additional context, but the state will be allowed to ask you questions. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to let you know that I moved here from North Carolina 2 years ago. I took care of my mom until she passed away. And my grandparents raised me since I was a month old, so they saved my life. I was going to be given up and they took care of me and legally adopted me. So my relationship with my father is important to me, as well as it was my mother. I have other siblings, unfortunately, that are married or in other states. And the only one that can really tentatively be there for my parents. So I just wanted to make that statement, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, any questions, state? Okay. All right, so if the court will allow this, would you be living with your father?
Yes, ma'am. He would need, my father does suffer from dementia, has been diagnosed with dementia. He's able to get around and take care of himself. The problem is feeding himself, making sure that he takes his medicine adequately, making sure that he has a proper diet, not microwave meals. The dementia has progressed as he's gotten older. So there's concerns with, he's in what's called an eloper. He tends to walk around and leave at times and not think of anything of it. He'll just start walking or going. My parents owned a business behind the property at one time and he'll just walk off at times. And that's what we're concerned for, mainly his safety.
All right, and how often does a healthcare provider come in to see him?
Just about every day. He sees an occupational therapist, Your Honor, a physical therapist. And he also has a regular nurse who does some light cleaning, takes his vitals, assists with just rudimentary things around the house.
Okay. All right, and state you have no objection?
Okay.
All right, so we're off the record. So where is this case going then?
Your Honor, I believe this case is a modification of probation, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor, if I may, I did not represent Mr. Espinoza at the time that he took a plea, a no contest plea. He was represented by an appointed counsel. I don't, after learning the facts from my client, I don't think this is a case that ever should have been a plea at all. I think it should have been dismissed. As laid out in my motion, the injury charge is coming from an incident in which my client's father had basically an episode where he got violent. And my client basically just tried to restrain him. And, you know, as Mr. Espinoza Senior had mentioned, he is a Marine. Occasionally, he becomes confused and he can become violent.
All right, so this is what you have to remember. And I always tell people this, when you were 2 years old or 3 years old, sometimes the same thing that our parents may do is what we did when we were 2 and 3, repeating the same thing, asking the same questions over and over. And guess what? Our parents were patient with us. And even though we would ask the same question over and over and they would give the same answer, they would always act as though that's the first time we've ever asked that question. So you're going to have to be patient.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes people do need a break. And when you need a break, you know, you have all of this, these people who are willing to help you. Call your brother and say, I just need a break. You know, let me get an hour, let me go out and have lunch by myself or whatever, or maybe I need the weekend off. So you have all these people who are willing to do that. You understand?
Your Honor, I do. I have a young son who is autistic. It's very near and dear to my heart. So patience is something I definitely understand. I experienced it with my own son with autism, so I can relate.
Okay. And so will you be living with Mr. Espinoza?
I'd like to. I do have a property of my own in Italia, but it's to better serve my father and his needs. I would be living with him, correct?
All right. And who's going to be living there with you? So it'll be your father, you, and who else?
So my older brother would check in. He comes just about every day as it is. But as I mentioned, there are occupational therapists. He has a regimen of people that come in and out of the house throughout the week to care for my dad.
All right. And state you have no objection?
Okay.
Probation, is there anything I should know? All right, then the court will grant the motion. All right, so probation, this is just for him to have no harmful or injurious contact, but he's allowed to live there. All right. And probation. Could you all do random checks?
While they're counting.
All right, let's just do random field visits 1 time per month. Okay,
Thank you for the opportunity, Your Honor. I'm very grateful.
all right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm serious, tell your father, once he writes his book.
Your Honor, he's already written 1 book. My dad has 2 master's degrees. He taught at Our Lady of the Lake and St. Mary's.
Oh, wow.
My mother and him wrote a book together before she passed away. But he has written 1 book already.
You'll have to tell me the name of the book so I love to read.
Sure. It's you've heard of Chicken Soup for the Soul?
Yes.
Well, my dad wrote one similar to that, but it's a Spanish one. It's called Dichos and Mas. It's basically proverbs that we've heard from our parents growing up. I think there's like 1,000 of them in the book. So it's just a table reader with.
Well, I don't speak Spanish, but it'll help me with my Spanish, I'm sure.
We'll get you in English first.
I'll get you a copy. I'll figure, how do I do that?
Oh, no, you can't.
Oh, okay.
You know, people will say that, you know.
Okay.
So after you're off of probation, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
All right. But I'll look for it. I'll remember his name and I'll look for it at the bookstore and I'll
You can
pick it
get
up.
it at Amazon. I know that. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Good
that.
luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Fernando Carl.
Who's here on Jose Ruiz? Good morning. All right, so the last notation I have, let's see. Your plea deadline date was on April 4th and it was moved. So where are we on this case?
Your Honor, at this point, I had prepared a discovery acknowledgement because we had gotten what I believed was all the discovery that was still outstanding. However, defense did file a motion for discovery last night.
Mhm.
Or I'm sorry, I guess it was yesterday afternoon. Of course, as the court knows, we were in trial.
Yes.
I reviewed it. The only thing, it's pretty standard. The only thing that may require us to a little bit of time to look into is they're asking for any and all specifically offense reports or 911 calls dealing with the co-defendant Katrina Mendoza and the victim in this case. And I can't tell the court at this point whether we have all that other than we have the CPS records. So I would hope it would be in there, but we would have to just do a search to verify that we have all that already.
All right. So I'm going to do one final discovery. And after that, there will be no extensions for discovery. So, and that will give everybody a chance to look over everything. Yes.
This case resulted in the death of a child. The circumstances are very, very ugly. As a result of that, I did another motion for discovery besides what we were getting. And Mrs. Mitchell is very cooperative. I'm not saying that she isn't. But this is a 25-year-old man who's looking at the rest of his life in jail. So I ask for a little lenience if I can on that.
Well, I'm giving you all a new date. I'm giving you all a new date for discovery. That's what I said.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Final.
Yeah, this will be your last discovery because this case has been going on with discovery issues since June of 2022. And I will tell you what ended up happening is on June 9th, 2022, there was a discovery and it was reset for August 4th, 2022. And the reason why it was reset was because it says autopsy will be ready in 30 days, recall for September 22nd, 2022. So I recalled for September 22nd, 2022. Then I recalled it for December 1st, 2022. And on September 22nd, 2022, the autopsy was completed. And that recall to December 1st, 2022 was requested by the defense. And the defense requested 6 months. And I reset it for December 1st, 2022. And on that day, there was some issue with DNA comparison and a phone dump and a SANE exam and something with narcotics. And so then I said, okay, we'll recall it for January 31st for discovery. Then we came back on February 3rd, 2022. I'm sorry, 23. And on that date, the defendant was to hire an attorney. And then we came back on March 2nd. Defendant will not hire an attorney. And I was told that there were no discovery issues. Then I gave a plea deadline date. So now I'm being told that there are some discovery issues. So I'm giving you all a final discovery date, and that's your final discovery date. This case, as you all know, I don't like for cases to be around for years on the docket. Because I think that people who are accused are entitled to a speedy trial. People who are complainants are entitled to a speedy trial. And for this court, speedy trial does not equal to somebody sitting at the jail for over a year. I do have some cases where people have been at the jail for more than a year, but that was before my time, and cases were transferred from other courts. And then I had to make sure that everybody had discovery because cases were transferred from other courts and files were all over. So this will be the last setting date for discovery in this court. And after I give you this setting date for discovery, after that, And on that date, states you need to be prepared to do a plea offer. And then after that, it's going to be a quick turnaround for a jury trial. So, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, the last date for discovery, can you set it? Let me see. For the week of May 22nd.
The 25th.
All right, May 25th will be your last discovery date. And state on May 25th, you need to be prepared to make an offer. And then there's going to be a quick turnaround for your plea deadline date. And I anticipate your plea deadline date is probably going to be that first week in June. And then after that, we will be headed for a jury trial if people want a jury trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
No.
I do have one question. We do have a
Yes.
discovery acknowledgement for what has been received. Would you like this to be tendered? The
Yes.
Defense has not signed it.
Okay,
I'd rather wait to sign it, Your Honor, if you don't mind,
okay,
since I still have a deadline.
sure.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right.
May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. You want this? Still want it. I'm sorry.
Who's here on Robert Reyna? And counsel, in this case, I never got your medical records.
Oh, I thought it was Mr. Well,
I brought the study information today.
All right, well, then we're not, court is not ready because I was supposed to be given the records before then.
I thought you just wanted the clinical study information. I apologize.
No problem. I thought you all were giving that to me the last time we were here. So, Mr. Raina, just have a seat. I have to review this.
I brought his diagnosis. The medical records include all of his appointments for the past couple of years. Did you need to see?
No, I just need to see this. State, have you reviewed this? All right, State, do you want to? All right, if you want to review, and then if you have any objections to the court reviewing that. Louis Thompson? Yes. Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No problem. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 0273, State of Texas versus Louis Fletcher Thompson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Defense?
Renee Munoz on behalf of Mr. Thompson.
Are you Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Louis Fletcher Thompson who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 0273 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on February 10th, 2022 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Your Honor, violation of condition number 4. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Louis Fletcher Thompson, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of September and October 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
And we'll waive the remaining violations, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
Your Honor, there is an agreement to deny the motion and to alter and amend for inpatient treatment. The state is agreeable to lifetime recovery, which he has done before. However, if for some reason he doesn't qualify or can't, then it would be state ISF.
All right, is that the agreement?
That's the agreement, Your Honor. And just a little bit of background, having since been on probation, he was rendered homeless. I did speak with the Vice President of Admissions, Mr. Welch from Lifetime Recovery. He did state that he could be possibly transferred with the court's okay in about 1.5 to 2 weeks. And it did say that they can assist him with housing, they can assist him with additional counseling, and they can help him with placements in terms of possible Haven for Hope, an Oxford home, or things of that nature. And I believe the state and the defense is agreeable in that there will be more opportunities for him with Lifetime Recovery and the resources they have versus ISF. I believe the recommendation for ISF was for cognitive reasons, not particularly significant drug reasons, but he has fallen on hard times, Your Honor. He has not reoffended or picked up any number ones. He did, fail to report for a couple months, and he did want me to apologize on his behalf for that, Judge. But we're hoping that he can get the chance for treatment to get back on the right track. And it would be a shorter process than the ISF.
Ms. Fletcher, Mr. Fletcher, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Why are you not reporting?
Well, because I was staying with my sister and I thought she would take me to court in, and she never did. And she's the one who told me that.
She's the one who what?
She's the one who sold me these drugs,
All right, who's your sister?
Lloyd Martinez.
All right, you're not supposed to be staying with Gloria Martinez.
I know, I'm sorry. I
Well,
thought she would help me, but.
no, you're not supposed to be staying with her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How far did you go in school?
Well,
So there are rules in place for you. If you don't follow those rules, you could end up going to prison for 20 years.
yes, ma'am.
You are not allowed to stay with Gloria Martinez.
Yes,
That is
ma'am.
clearly in your conditions.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
And, well, I mean, you should be sorry for you
I know.
because you're making bad decisions as though your life means nothing. Why you would want to live with somebody who is selling you ice is beyond me when you know you have a drug problem. You
I'm
understand?
sorry.
Well, no, I mean, you should be apologizing to yourself and apologizing to your body
Yes, ma'am.
and apologizing to Lifetime Recovery, because Lifetime Recovery spent resources on you, and they spent resources on you because they think you're worth it. And then you just throw it all away to go live with your sister who's using drugs and giving you drugs.
And Your Honor, he was living with her, but he had since stopped, and he was at the homeless shelter, so he realized he was there. He was not picked up there or anything like that. He was picked up when he was living at Haven for Hope. So he had since stopped that relationship, and he's in agreement that he's not going to go back there. Yeah, he wasn't living with her at the time of him getting picked up.
I've been homeless for 2 months.
Well, I mean, about being homeless, do you have a job? Did you get a job?
I get exercise.
All right, so I know that if you receive SSI, SSI does help you with housing. Everybody, not you per se, but a majority, well, I won't even say a majority. Some people are just, oh, I'm homeless. And they're not trying to get a job. I see people every day who are coming up to my car, wanting to wash my windshield, or coming up to me, wanting me to give them money. At some point, people should be tired of, let me go out here and beg today and beg somebody to give me money. Wouldn't it be so much better? Wouldn't it be so much for your self-esteem if you didn't have to beg people for money?
I don't do that.
Well, you need to get a job.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to stop living with your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
And being contrite in front of me and apologizing for doing what you know is wrong is not really an apology. That's an apology to me for getting caught. It's not a true apology. That's you saying it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. You knew you were not supposed to live with your sister. So instead of coming to court and asking for permission, your idea was, I'm going to live with my sister. And I know your sister then forced drugs upon you. You know you have a drug issue, but you went to go live with your sister because you could get drugs. And now you're coming to the court and saying, let me apologize to you. Let me ask for forgiveness because I didn't want permission because I knew you were not giving it. So I'll follow your agreement, but I'm telling you right now, everything that you do from here on out, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if in your mind you say, the decision I'm making right now, I don't know, there's a possibility it could result in me going to prison for 20 years, then you shouldn't do it. And don't try to do this thing with me where you're asking for forgiveness instead of permission. And if it's something that definitely tells you, oh yeah, I'm going to get in trouble for this, then you definitely should not be doing it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you get out of lifetime, I'm going to deny the motion. Alternate mean conditions to lifetime recovery. Lifetime recovery will be picking you up from the Bexar County Jail. And he is not to have any contact with Gloria Martinez. Do I need to say it again? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I'll definitely, after we speak, admonish him about the consequences. I know you did a great job of that, and I think that is a good idea, being transferred directly into it, because he has since detoxed, and it'd be a good opportunity for him to grow there. But we do appreciate the opportunity. He's appreciative of the opportunity, and I'm sure he's not going to be saying sorry in the future. He's going to be saying thank you for the chance.
Thank you, counsel.
I'm sorry, thank you for chatting.
All right, you're welcome.
I'm just gonna show you respect, that's all.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Oh.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who's here on Hector Rodriguez? I do have a stamp. Yes, for plea. Oh, no problem. Good morning, Mr. Rodriguez. Court is calling 2023 CR 2165, State of Texas versus Hector Anthony Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Megan Enriquez for Hector Rodriguez.
And are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're proceeding with the lesser included offense. It's arson, recklessly causing damage to a building.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did understand it, and I did sign it.
Did you understand that you're charged with the lesser included offense or correction? The state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of arson, reckless causing damage as a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did understand.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you have a right to a jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call you and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, I did understand.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am, I do understand.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I believe he does.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am, no.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did go over that. She went over it with me and I do understand.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of arson, reckless causing damage. Punishment is be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration GJ 780460, JN number 2086635. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did understand.
Counselor, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor, there have not.
Then to the offense of arson, reckless causing damage, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No
All right.
objection.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, I did understand.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments. I'm sorry, just one moment. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we're very grateful that the state has thoughtfully made this plea bargain agreement with us and this offer. My client is grateful to the state and to the court. We just respectfully ask that you follow the agreement.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration grand jury number 780460, Jan number 2086635, showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to possess or own any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
No, yes, I understand.
All right, we can go off the record. What is up with these tattoos And do people not put clothes on their tattoos anymore?
No, I got these when I was very young. I got them in the state jail and I didn't, this isn't what I wanted to get on there and I'm very embarrassed. But I was wondering if, the court or the judge could help me remove them.
Oh, there, if you Google, there are many places that will remove those for free.
That's what I was looking for.
All right. So here's the thing. I understand when people are homeless and I understand when people are cold, people want to light fire in a barrel or whatever, but that's very dangerous. So how old are you?
I'm 53, I'm gonna be 54.
So do you have any family?
No, not that I no, my father passed away and it's just me.
You're gonna have to get your life together. You're like me, you're beginning to be in the twilight of your life. And if you don't watch out, you're gonna look up, half of your life is gonna be spent behind, you know, the prison walls. All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Laura Leffler,
Hi, Judge. How are you today?
great. Who are you here for?
I am here for a Pedro Nieto. I wanted to approach about a bond being set. It's a MTR where it's a misdemeanor assault MTR where it was reduced in your court.
Where is
and
your
he's
client?
He's in custody. He's remanded without bond.
Oh, just 1 second. We're gonna have him brought up and then have you conferred with the state?
No, I would love to. I did email Brittany earlier in the week, but I haven't had a chance to speak with her. So if I
All
could
right,
speak
if
with her,
you'll
that would be
email
great.
her, I'll put you in the waiting room, but if you'll email her again. and
Okay,
she'll
I'll
get
send
an
her an
email and you all can email back and forth.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, ma'am.
You did email me, very early in the morning on Tuesday.
All right, so I'll put you in the waiting room and she'll let me know when you're ready.
Okay, we'll start emailing. Sounds good. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Who's here on Fernando Zapeda?
Hi, Judge.
And where is Fernando Zapeda?
Be walking up. Oh, great.
All right, who are the prosecutors on Fernando Zapeda? Okay, thank you. Sure. It'll give me a chance to drink some more water. I'm trying to do better with my water intake.
We either do or it'll catch up with you.
Yes. All right, Deputy Laura, can you have these two people move somewhere down the end? Hello? Yes.
I almost wondered if that was a plan. She was so bad. It wasn't. I stood behind her in line. She was with 56. They were right behind Walter. Yeah. At first I thought it was Walter White that was saying, I told Lisa, I think that's Walter. Then I thought it was, no, it's her. It was bad.
That would be grounds for divorce, just right there.
It was bad.
About 2 times as I weigh away. I always used to be thin also.
All right.
All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, State, are you ready on Mr. Zapeta?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 9517, State of Texas versus Fernando Zapeda. Could I have parties announce for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
David A. Garcia, attorney for Fernando Zapeta, Judge.
And are you Mr. Zapeta?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea on February 2nd. And you applied for deferred adjudication. The state is silent. And they're asking that your punishment be assessed at 6 years in the prison. Did you have a chance to review the PSI report, defense,
We did, Judge.
state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state,
No, Your Honor.
defense?
No, Your Honor.
Any witnesses, defense,
No, Your Honor.
state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear argument. Why should I grant this application?
Judge, he's made a lot of mistakes. I've gotten to know his family over the last 15 years, his uncles and him. And in spite of his mistakes, he always means well. He's fallen short. I'm not excusing what he did, Judge. He seems to panic a lot when he gets into a lot of troubles. He has a fear of the police, which in some instances is good, but mostly it's bad, and it's got him into a lot of trouble. But over the course of this representation, he's been working with me to get his life back in order. He's always struggled to make his child support. He's been trying to catch up. He finally went and got himself a job at this staffing company, and he enjoys that. He's now gainfully employed. He's doing well. I can see a change in him. I'm hoping that you give him this opportunity to prove himself. And I've explained to him that if you do grant him the deferred, judge, that if he messes up, you're more likely than not to send him away to prison for the maximum time period allowed by this case. And he understands that, and he feels confident that he can prove himself to both you, his family, and himself. And we're simply asking for that opportunity because, as I said, it doesn't excuse his huge mistakes. And he's extremely sorry for that. I think it said that in the PSI. In this instant case, it doesn't excuse it, but there was one officer that flew by him, and then he turned and drove down the road and then saw these dark vehicles without lights chasing him, and he sped off. He should have just, I've always told him, just drive to the nearest police department. And he panicked and did what we call stupidity and dangers to society. He understands that, and he's extremely sorry because he's not the most verbose person. He asked me to speak on his behalf.
All right, well, I mean, he needs to start speaking because I don't understand why I should give him probation. I'm leaning towards sending you to prison, and let me explain to you why. The reason why I feel you should go to prison is I'm looking at your criminal history. In just one moment. And how old are you?
43.
All right, you're 43. I'm looking at your criminal history. And just one moment here. And let me just tell you what my issue is. All right. My issue is that you're here before me on an evading arrest
With a vehicle.
with a vehicle. And see, from 2009, I have an evading arrest. And I'm assuming that was on foot potentially. And then the felony I have, this is the court's concern. December 25th, 2002, you had an evading arrest with vehicle. You were given probation, your probation was terminated. I'm assuming you did well on probation, or even if you didn't do well, they decide to terminate your probation. But then we come back on April 9th, and you have another evading arrest. And you were sentenced to state jail. And that was evading arrest with a vehicle. And now we're here with an evading arrest with a vehicle. And this March 20th, 2023, is that a different evading?
It is.
It's on a bicycle.
I mean, so I don't think you're a good candidate for probation. I don't think you've learned anything. You're still evading. So I don't think you're a good candidate, and I'm not going to grant your application. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. I'm going to take in consideration 2022 CR 6908. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Just to clarify.
Okay. Okay, this is the,
Judge, would it be possible for him to turn himself in on Monday so we can take care of some
no,
personal affairs?
no. Oh, I'm sorry. This goes with you as well, counsel. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? I'm sorry?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or an ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. The problem, sir, is that you have not learned anything and you keep picking up evadings. And the fact that you were waiting to be sentenced in this court for evading, and then you pick up another evading. You got to make better choices. No, it's no longer a mistake. It's a choice. And if you have some sort of issue that makes you not want to stop when people tell you to pull over, then that's something that you'll need to address with whatever type of mental health care professional, whoever it needs to address those issues. You understand? All right, good luck to you. Who's here on Adam Morales? Good morning, Mr. Bond.
Morning, Judge.
All right, and Mr. Bond, you're over here. All right, Mr. Morales, come on down. Court is calling 2023 CR 2070, State of Texas versus Adam Morales. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ruben Pereira for the state.
Charles Funk for Mr. Morales.
Are you Mr. Morales?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, you received all the discovery. Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Morales, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
showing you the true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on the lesser included charge of count one, assault, bodily injury, family, household.
Any objection?
No, with the understanding that it's a mistake, they're waiving the
Yes.
enhancement.
Mr. Morales, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places and did you understand it?
Yes.
Court will, I'm sorry, just one second. Mr. Morales, did you understand that the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family, and household as a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes.
Range of punishment is anywhere from 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine.
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes,
Mr. Morales, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
Oh, man.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family, household as a Class A misdemeanor. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
Defense,
yes,
state,
Yes, Your Honor.
showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there many such motions?
No, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for 1 year, that there be no contact with Veronica Morales in the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
we got reviewed the same and have no objections.
Mr. Morales, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We believe he's worthy of the plea bargain. We ask you to follow it.
All right, Mr. Morales. So how old are you?
34.
You're 34, and this house you were living at, was it your mom's house?
My grandparents.
Grandparents' house? And I'm assuming your grandparents are allowing a bunch of grown people to live at their homes and cause chaos. Because this happened on December 26th, which is the day after Christmas.
Yes.
So why were you living with your grandparents and don't have a place of your own to stay?
Because I just paroled out over there that address, and I was barely establishing myself. I enrolled in college as well. I started in Southern Career Institute. I was a month in, studying to start a new trade.
So this all started with somebody being in your room?
No,
I mean, that's what the police report says.
no, what had happened was, my sister was planning to move out. I told her like, I'm being tired of the living arrangement. It was like, when are you gonna move and stuff like that, and kind of escalated.
What living arrangements?
She was supposed to just stay there for a meantime, until I got out. That was the agreement, and then I told her, look, it's like, when are you gonna move? It's like, I want to just get into the room and then just stay there for a little bit and then get out and find my own things.
So is this your grandparents' house or your house?
No, my grandparents' house.
So why do people think that they can tell other people to leave a location and it's not even your house? Were you paying rent for that room? Did you sign a lease with your grandparents
No.
where you were paying a certain amount of money to be in that room?
I was in a room, sleeping on the couch.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Why do you feel as though you can go to your grandparents' house, you haven't signed a lease, and you can get in an argument with somebody who's living in your room?
Yes, I'm sorry.
All right. So does his grandparents want him back there?
Yes.
And is that where he's paroled to? Are you still on parole or no?
Yes, I'm so on.
When are you off parole?
I got a year and 1 month.
Okay. And
She's no longer living
okay, he read my mind.
there. Yes,
Do you have any children?
yes, I do. I have one son, he's about to be 5, a couple months. But I have no contact.
Why not?
Uh,
Because of your incarceration and,
and I wasn't on the birth certificate. I'm still going to court with that. It's on hold right now.
well, I mean, he's 5 now, so you just can't walk into somebody's life asking like you're going to be a father when you haven't been one.
That's why they want me to go through certain steps before I make that attempt.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 1 year's deferred adjudication. No contact with Veronica Morales. And just as a side note, when you get in an altercation with somebody, they don't want to hug it out immediately thereafter.
Yes.
The BIPP course. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. I'm going to want proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular UAs. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. 80 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to want parenting classes. He can either do triple P or compadre e compadre. Once that's completed, the community service hours will be satisfied. I'm gonna want field visits. One time per month for 3 months. And probation, if everything goes well with the field visits, then you all can do them as many times as you want. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
Judge, would you allow him, his plan is to go back to school if he provides proof of full-time student? Would that, can that substitute for the job until he completes the trade school so he can get a job?
Yes, but it must be full-time.
Okay.
So probation is, if he is in full-time school or full-time trade school, well, here's my problem with that. I will do that, but you should not be living off your grandparents. So I tell you, instead of the full-time employment, he'll still need to get part-time employment because his grandparents should not be responsible for his food, water, and shelter. They're already giving you shelter for free. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Judge.
Thank you. Are you already on Lefton or no?
Yes, we're ready on it. Just.
And Deputy Laura, on Lefton's client, is it Reyes?
He's out here, Your Honor.
Okay.
No, Reyes is at me. So I don't know, I know she had to do a certification of appeal.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's done.
Mhm.
Edward? Reyes?
Daniel. This is Zapeda's. So maybe it got indicted. Okay. Oh, no problem.
I think I made a mistake. We had one that was indicted already and one that was still alive.
Okay. Thank you. Who's here on Juan Delgado? All right, Juan Delgado. All right, so Mr. Delgado, who was your attorney that was originally on this case with you?
It was Jorge, his last name is hard to pronounce.
Jorge Aristotelides? All right, so you're asking that you be allowed to drive, is that correct? And that I guess that the restrictions on your driving be lifted?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so what we're gonna do is probation. We're gonna need Jorge Aristotelides. And then we'll have the state confer with him and we'll see if someone can call Mr. Aristotelides, okay? All right, and if you have the number for Mr. Aristotelides, see if you can call him and have him come over to court. Yes, if he's available.
Okay.
All right, thank you. One is. Let me see, the next one up is Arocha. And it's just probation. Who's here on Arocha? Okay, just give us a moment. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Oh, and State, did you finish looking at the file on Franklin's client? Oh, did you all turn the paperwork back in for me to review? Does nobody wish for me to see those?
It's the same paperwork that I needed you earlier on it.
Oh, I gave it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I'll review that.
I was hoping to call my client to speak about his medical condition.
Okay.
Because it sounds like there may be a question about his diagnosis and how long his life expectancy.
No, my question, and the reason why we were here before is you had a box of medical documents and I said, somebody, we're going to reset this. Give me the medical documents. And these are the medical documents that I'm asking for. And then defense said, okay, I'll leave those with you. And nobody never left those with me. So now I've got them this morning. And I tendered them back to the state to see if they wanted to review before I reviewed them. And now I'm going to review those. But yeah, you can call him, but just give me a moment.
I apologize, Your Honor. My understanding was that you wanted to see specifically the information about the clinical trial.
Mhm.
So that's the information that I got and I'm presenting today.
No, that's what I wanted. And I thought you already had that from last time. That's why I was hoping people would give it to me. That way we'd be prepared to go because I would have read it. So just give me a moment. All right. You ready on Arocha? All right, Arocha. Court is calling 2020 CR 10446 State of Texas versus Eric Jeffrey Arocha. Could I have parties approach and announce for the record for the state? Defense.
Something for the defense.
Are you Mr. Arocha?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Eric Jeffrey Arocha who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 10446 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram on January 26, 2021 for a period of 2 years and extended for a total of 0 days?
Yes,
I know.
Your Honor.
Is that you? State?
Your Honor, violated condition number 2, on or about the 3rd day of August 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Eric Jeffrey Arocha, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, the state waives all the violations.
All right, counsel, you need to have a trial court certification filled out. I don't have one. Mr. Arocha, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to a violation of condition number 2? Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Where's her client? He's not zoomed in. No. All right, thank you. All right, and where's the trial court certification?
You the last word.
It is 10446. No problem. All right, the court is finding violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge, is to alter and amend, first allow the medical marijuana use only as prescribed. It does appear that he has provided that information to probation previously. GPS device with curfew for 4 months. He can remove it after 3 if he complies with all conditions. To complete all the other outstanding classes that he has. To get a new tap and follow the recommendations, ISP. And then we were gonna extend for, I believe, until October
180 days in the state jail facility. Court will give you credit for any time served. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your time.
You're welcome. Who is on Alay Garcia? Thank you. And can you give that to Norma? Who's here on Alay Garcia?
I think it might be out. I think she just stepped out with her.
You're welcome. Who's here on Raul Reyes? Oh, he's here.
Your Honor, the state has tendered a new offer today. My client has rejected the new offer and is requesting a jury trial.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Raul Reyes, please. And it's family violence. All right, Mr. Reyes, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this cause without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
I can do June 20th.
All right, your jury trial date will be June 20th.
Your Honor, I don't know if we need to file a motion to set bond. He'd like a bond set on this case. Can you file a motion to set bond? If we do that with the deep page.
I'm remanded without a bond right now, Your Honor.
Right.
I've been paying for it still since I've been incarcerated
Well, I guess the issue would be why he's remanded without bond.
because I'm misdemeanor charged,
I'm sorry,
because of a misdemeanor charge that I'm.
counsel, if you want to file a motion for that and we'll have Mr. Nahara hear it.
Okay, yes.
All right, Mr. Aristotelides.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Your client is here, or your former client, Mr. Delgado. He's
Yes.
asking that his driving restrictions be removed. So if you're available to call one of the prosecutors, state this was a failure to stop and render aid. And it's one of the hybrids, but it's 2019 CR 1091.
Yes, then you got him, he's out here.
Okay.
He's here, but his attorney is on Zoom, and she's thinking he was on Zoom as well.
I could barely hear, Judge. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. This isn't in relation to you. Just 1 second.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's sending back.
Well, let me do this. Let me see if Miss Lefton.
Yes, Judge.
All right, they brought your client to the courtroom. So
Okay.
are you able to be in court or no?
Not today, no, Your Honor. I thought he was being brought by Zoom. I do have an attorney that maybe could stand in for me that's in the courtroom. I think, or I can text someone to be there for me if you would let her stand in for me.
Yes, you can text someone if you would like, and if your client is in agreement to it. And what we will do is we'll still have you on Zoom, even though you're having someone standing in for you.
That would be wonderful. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, let me get,
Ferguson know.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Aristotelides. I believe the state may have your number, or they may want to talk to you about this.
Okay,
All right.
I'm happy to provide it. Somebody text me or call me and I'm here.
Oh, no, the probation officer has it. So what I'll
Yes.
do is I'll put you in the waiting room, and the state will probably want to confer with you, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alay Garcia.
Yeah.
Are you here for Alay Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I had come back to court office.
Oh, no problem. And you're on this side, counsel. Court is calling 2020 CR 8797A, State of Texas versus Alay Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Wendy McCullough.
All right. Are we here? And are you Mr. Alay Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have you already entered a plea?
No, Your Honor. This is just an NTR.
All right, excuse me, I need a file stamp. All right, Mr. Garcia, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Alay Trinidad Garcia who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 8797A for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, on November 18th, 2020 for a period of 2 years and extended for a total of 1 year? All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 1 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Elias Trinidad Garcia, did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of January 2023 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor will waive the remaining violated conditions.
Okay, just one moment. All right, you need to be quiet in the box. Do you not see us on the record? Excuse me, what is your name? All right, do you not see us on the record? Okay, that's what was throwing me off. So you started out saying that it was a violation of condition number 1, then you changed it to condition number 5 mid. Because you said, gentlemen, your honor violated condition number 1 in Bexar County. The defendant did fail to report, and then you ended with number 5.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Okay.
Condition
All
number
right,
5.
that was throwing. I was
I
like, am I not-
misspoke there.
oh, but Sean was like, yeah, because I was.
I had one down too, so it's like, okay.
Just keep me on your toes.
There you go.
Just try to get everybody active.
We're active now. All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 1 year in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor. It is to adjudicate guilt, revoke the individual office probation, also 1244, pursuant to 1244, sentence him to 200 days in the Barrett County Jail and judgment sat,
All right, 200 days?
200 days. What's that? Oh, Your Honor, I'm sorry. There is it's a great, well, the state's, that's the state's recommendation. Defense does want to address that agreement.
Yes.
So, Your Honor, I do respectfully request that you consider terminating this probation unsatisfactorily and not entering an adjudication of guilt. My client on this less than a gram case has 202 days in jail, his credit. He's also spent 120 days in ISF. If he gets credit for both, obviously 322 days in jail. When he was arrested, he was 19 years old. He's 22 years old now. He has no prior juvenile criminal history. He has no prior adult criminal history. I really would love to see him not have a felony conviction on his record. I realize it took him a few times to get it right, because this is his 4th MTR. I did look at the prior MTRs, and most of them are just not reporting for 1 month. So he did not have a lot of violations on his prior MTRs. He was sentenced to ISF, and he said, he told me 2 things. He said, I really want to thank the judge for sending me to ISF. I have listened to everything she said, and it really helped me. I do believe he is a success story from what he's been through, which I don't see, I told him often. And of course, I hear a lot you don't really know. And he said, pull my mugshots, show the judge my mugshots. And so I
Yes,
did.
show me his mugshots.
No.
I'm sorry.
Do you have his mugshots?
Yes, I did pull his mugshots, I should say. The state printed them for me. It was at a prior hearing. Before the case was set, they did print them for me. And I do think it is remarkable. And I told him I do believe he looked healthier and he looks a lot better. And I thought that was a great suggestion. I think it really did help. And also, you know, just as more evidence that he really is doing well. He's a trustee in the jail. And if he does get released, he still does have a job, and that he can go back to the job that he had before, working for Fresh for Texas. And he could do orientation on Tuesday to get back involved. It's rare, you know, that I have a client, first of all, that has missed this many days credit on a less than a gram case, but more importantly, doesn't have any criminal history. I still think he's young enough that he now has the tools that he can continue and he can do well, and it would greatly benefit him if he does not have a felony conviction for this less than a gram case.
All right, Mr. Garcia, why shouldn't I give you a felony conviction?
I'm asking for felony, not, sorry. I'm asking for you not to give me a felony. I'm asking for you not to give me a felony conviction for the simple fact that you equipped me with something that nobody has ever equipped me with before, and it's changed. After going to ISF, after you sent me to ISF, I was very thankful for it. I kept up with my probation, and I was really wanting change. I got involved in the Oxford House, and I kept up with that. And I mean, well, I was going to be a chapter officer there in the Oxford House. It's a sober living house, and I got real involved with that. I went to regional in Corpus, and I was liking it a lot.
So where are you going after this?
After this, to back to an Oxford House.
Okay. All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, the court is finding violation of condition number 5 true. The court will deny the motion. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you. Make sure you follow through on Oxford House.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Confirm, would that be terminated?
No.
This termination?
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome. Who's here on Fernando Carmona?
I am, Your Honor.
Court's calling 2022 CR 9805, State of Texas versus Fernando Carmona III. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Todd Lesher for Mr. Carmona.
Mr. Carmona, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Fernando Carmona III who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 9805 for the offense of aggravated robbery on February 3rd, 2023 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Violated condition number 14 on or about the third day of March 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Fernando Carmona III, did then and there fail to register and complete the GPS program in violation of condition number 14.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure.
Your Honor, state waives all the violations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
None, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 14, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you to life in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true
Yes, Your Honor.
to violation condition number 14?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 14 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it's to amend conditions of probation to include zero tolerance and fair ISF followed by ISP. The state is also going to take into consideration county court cause number 703-603. And the defendant is to have no harmful or injurious contact with Felicity Garcia.
All right, who is Felicity Garcia?
She was the listed victim in the county court case.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, that is the agreement. Mr. Carmona is very motivated to successfully complete his probation with you, Judge. I think ISF, as we just heard from the prior hearing, it could be very beneficial regarding his compliance with the court's wishes. And he's very motivated to get back to his daughter and try to change his life.
Why shouldn't I send you to prison? Because it's obviously I placed you on probation. I'm not, I see the other allegations, which it appears you were placed on probation in February. And since February, the only thing you did was pick up a new offense. So why shouldn't I send you to prison?
That unlawful restraint was just a big misunderstanding. I did not really do anything but lock the door. That's all that happened. I just didn't want I didn't want to talk to the cops or nothing, and my girlfriend had climbed into the window and unlocked the door for the cops, and all I did was try locking it so that I don't get, I knew that was my first day on probation. I didn't want to.
Here's the thing. That unlawful restraint case is not accusing you of unlawfully restraining yourself. Am I right about that?
Yes, Judge.
So let's stop with this. I didn't want to talk to the police, and you're trying to make it sound like you locked yourself in because you didn't want to talk to anybody. The complainant listed in the unlawful restraint is not yourself. So again, why shouldn't I just send you to prison? Because I know for a fact, because you're young, I know I told you that everything that you do, you need to ask yourself a simple question. Is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for life? And I know I told you because you're young, I know I told you that if it's something where you're like, I don't know, maybe, then you shouldn't do it. If the answer to that question is definitely yes, then you shouldn't do it. So instead of you following my conditions that I set for you in February, you're back here in April and you never did anything. You did nothing. And now you come to me, and I'm assuming everybody's asking for mercy. You're asking for mercy for the court. Why should I give it to you?
Well, Your Honor, I've really not been I have such a big heart, and I just want to prove to my family that I'm not a bad person, and I also want to prove to you.
Let me stop you right there. Let's assume that you don't have a family. Let's assume you are in this world all by yourself. Why should I be showing you mercy when you didn't follow any of my conditions? Because what you're telling me is, don't send me to prison because I want to prove something to my family. That ship has sailed. Don't come to me saying, I want to be out because I have a child. That ship has sailed. If you're here by yourself, which you are, why should I not just send you to prison and move on to the next case? I can send you to prison for 5 or up to life and say, good luck to you, and go on to the next person.
Well, I also wanted to prove to you that I'm not such a bad person and I could complete the 10 years deferred.
No, you've proven to me that you can't. Good people always say good people sometimes do bad things. So you've proven to me that you can't do probation because you have not done it. The only thing you've done since you've been on probation is pick up this new case. So my question is, why shouldn't I just send you to prison and move on to the next person?
I also wanted to be a role model for all of my other brothers that are locked.
Well, let's assume you don't have any brothers or sisters. Because you should have been a role model before you picked up this case. And I will tell you, if I go along with this agreement, I'm doing no contact with Felicity Garcia. And if somebody wants that no contact lifted, then I need to speak to Felicity Garcia and find out what's going on here. And how old is your child?
She's 1, gonna be 2 in June.
So you got a 1-year-old about to be 2, and she didn't ask for it, but now she has a father who has an aggravated case and who is looking at going to prison for life. And then I guess she can be in front of me saying, well, I never had a father. He went to prison. There's this vicious cycle that's going on here in Bexar County where everybody comes before me. And you know what they say? Oh, I only went to 9th grade. Oh, my father's in prison. Oh, my mom's in prison. My grandmother raised me. At some point, that's going to have to stop. All right, I'm going to deny the motion. There's going to be no contact with Felicity Garcia. I'm going to want parenting classes. I probably already ordered that if he told me he had a child before. Yes, I did. Where are you going to be living? Because you're not going to be living with Felicity Garcia.
I'm gonna stay on my dad.
Does he want you there? Have you asked?
Yes, I have.
Does he have criminal history?
I don't think so. I'm not really sure.
All right, so
But if not, I was planning to live at Heaven for Hope. I was before, but I had to pick up.
do you have any drug issues in your past? All right, we'll do ISF, cognitive. And I want field visits when he's released. And those are to be once a month, and make those random. And is there anything else that he needs probation? Whichever one, just whichever one that has the cognitive one. Well, we'll do local. What's your daughter's name? All right, and there's to be no visitation, because I don't know why people bring their children to facilities like the Bexar County Jail and prison. So you are not to have your daughter visiting you at those facilities. Her immune system is not even built up. And the last thing she needs to do is see her father in custody, because then people think that's the way to go. You understand? The state is taking that in consideration. All right, is there anything else you need from me to be successful? Is there anything you need from the court? Anything else? I'm going to tell you this for the last time. Every decision that you make from here on out, you need to ask yourself before you follow through with that decision, is this something that could result in me potentially going to prison for life? This is an aggravated case. So if you get sentenced to 20 years, you have to do 10 years flat. That's day for day before you're eligible for parole. And even then, there's no assurance that you will get it. And if you end up getting sentenced on this case, more likely than not, your child will have gone through her quinceañera and everything else before you're released. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. And what is up with this Marbach haircut business? What's up with that? Is that something that people are just doing? Do you know about that?
I'm not sure I've had it as long as I can remember.
Okay. All right, and you're gonna have to start getting a job, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You just got a daughter to support. Good luck to you. Don't disappoint me. Who is here on Christopher McCullough? McCullough? Court is calling 2022 CR 715. Oh, okay.
One more time.
All right. Court is calling 2022 CR 7150, State of Texas versus Christopher Lee McCullough. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
Ruben Flores for McCullough.
are you Mr. McCullough?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Christopher Lee McCullough who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 7150 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on August 8, 2022 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes.
State?
Violated condition number 1 on or about 28th day of February 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Christopher Lee McCullough, committed the offense of fraudulent use or possession of identifying information, 10 to 49 items in violation of condition number 1.
Okay, just one moment. I don't have that as my violation of condition number 1. I mean, I just have violation condition number 1 on or about the 28th day of February 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Christopher Lee McCullough, committed the offense of fraud in violation of condition number 1.
That is correct, Your Honor. That's the one we're proceeding on. I just added the complete offense that he committed.
Oh, no. It should just be that. Okay,
My apologies.
no problem. How do you plead to that? True or not true? Okay, he's pleading not true.
Can I walk away from the
Yes.
court and confirm with the judge?
Yes. Okay. Who's here on Eduardo Reyes? Yes. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. All right. Hello. Are your clients in the center?
He has been evaluated and he's been found incompetent.
Okay.
So we have a hearing the 20th, the agreed incompetence hearing before Judge Brothers.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Reyes, can you reset this for 60 days?
I need a new attorney.
All right, I understand. Thank you for letting me know. And we'll look into that. And my understanding is that you have a,
This is my first time being in jail for a burglary.
okay. All right, so here's the thing. All right. Everyone, could you please whisper? So, Mr. Reyes, I understand what you're saying, and I understand that you want a new attorney, but my understanding is that a doctor has seen you before I can even look into getting you a new attorney, because the doctor has made an evaluation. Your defense attorney is telling me that you have a hearing scheduled where that doctor will be present. When is that date, counsel?
On the 20th, Judge, next week.
All right. Oh, it's just the doctor who talked to you about any issues you may have, okay? You remember talking to a doctor? Okay, no, I understand. So what's going to end up happening is on April 20th, they're going to take you to a different court, and that'll be the court with Judge Carruthers. And then they'll have a hearing on what the doctor said his findings are, okay? And then after that, we'll address your issue with regards to a new attorney. But
No, I know my way home. I know my blood routes.
Mhm.
Last time I was here, The other judge told me I didn't need to take any medication or anything.
Okay. All right. So if you feel that way, just be sure at at the hearing to let them know that, okay? So what will end up happening, Mr. Reyes, is your attorney is telling me that that hearing is set actually on April 20th.
That's correct, Judge.
And so they already have you in the system for April 20th, which is next week.
They also said I qualify for lifetime coverage.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do is we'll bring you back after that date on April 20th. I can't do anything with your case until they actually have a hearing on that. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excuse.
Just one moment. All right. Since he's been deemed to be incompetent and because of the nature of these charges, they're going to end up putting him in an inpatient. And I know that's going to take a while. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 60-day reset for him? All right, so we'll tentatively put down June 8th, but just check in with Ms. Ferguson so we can see if he's been sent or not.
Make it a ghost state.
Yeah, make it a go state. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excuse.
You're yes, you may. All right, are you ready? All right. If your client can come back up. We're back on the record in 2022 CR 7150 to violation of condition number 1. How do you plead? True or not true?
Yeah.
State.
Your Honor, we waive the remainder of the allegations on the motion to revoke.
Any objections?
No objections.
All right. Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 5 years in the prison?
Good.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1? You need to speak up.
Yes, sir.
Then the court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. The defendant is to serve a term of 3 years in the TC.
All right. Is that your agreement?
It is, Judge.
Are you asking the court to follow that agreement? Are you
Yes,
asking the
ma'am.
court to follow that agreement?
Yes, sir.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, sir.
Then the court will follow your agreement, sentence you 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's $1,000 fine, time and money for Ryan concurrent. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you. You need to do better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, are we ready on Jorge Aristotelides with Juan Delgado? All right, Mr. Delgado. All right, so Mr. Delgado is asking for the restriction of his driving restrictions be removed.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And State, do you have an objection?
No, Your Honor, my understanding that was part of the plea agreement is that as long as he provided a letter from his doctor saying that he is fit to be able to drive, that the state would not be opposed to it. And I believe that letter had been turned over the last time that the defendant was in court. And so I've spoken with defense counsel and I believe that is accurate.
All right. And we're going on the record. We're going on the record in No problem. We're going on the record in 2019 CR 1091, State of Texas versus Juan Luis Delgado. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Jorge Aristotelidis for Mr. Juan Delgado.
All right. And Mr. Aristotelides is by Zoom, dressed as he is because he didn't know that this was taking place today. Is that correct, Mr. Aristotelides?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right.
I'm happy to be here and accommodate the court.
All right. And so the court had ordered in this case that he was allowed to drive only for medical appointments, employment, and errands for his mother for 3 months. And then the probation officer was to submit a report to the court asking how, what the status of his progress. And then the court's concern was based upon what was said during sentencing. And so the court would not lift his driving restrictions until the court received medical documentation that he was fit to drive. And so the court received a letter from the doctor, and it's Dr. Gilberto Melendez, that he was capable of driving and fit to continue to drive. So state any objections. And defense, I'm assuming you have no objection?
No, Your Honor. He's fit to drive.
All right. Then the court will show that his restrictions of driving have been satisfied. Is there anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you. Just speak with probation. Okay, so what are they doing, a plea? What are they doing? Well, where's that motion to revoke? I don't have it. And Norma, we're breaking at 12, so I don't know who have these parties in here, but at 12, we're breaking. All right. Pedro Nieto, if you can come forward, please.
I don't know, Lauren signed the certificate, or does she need?
She can sign it in her stead. Miss Lefton?
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
All right, I need your video.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 6571, State of Texas versus Pedro Ricardo Nieto. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Tracy Franklin and for Lauren Lefton.
All right, and the court will note that Miss Lefton is by video. Are you Mr. Pedro Nieto?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Nieto was supposed to be by Zoom, but because he's here and his counsel is on the Zoom screen, there's paperwork that needs to be signed. And my understanding is that Miss Franklin is here for that purpose. Is that correct, Miss Lefton?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nieto, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you have a chance to review that with your attorneys? Did you understand it?
I have not had a chance to review that yet.
You want to? All right. Yeah, you're not going to be able to reach. Sorry. Oh, and I'm sorry. Here's the supplemental. For him to review. Okay. Yes. All right, and Ms. Franklin? He also needs to sign that. All right. Oh, he just needs to sign it. And then if I could have the motions back. Thank you. All right, Mr. Nieto, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and states motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Pedro Ricardo Nieto who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 6571 for the offense of assault bodily injury, married on August 26, 2020 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Your Honor, in violation of condition number 2, on or about the 4th day of January 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Pedro Ricardo Nieto did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the supervision officer in violation of condition number.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, will at this time waive all the remaining violations.
Any objections to the waivers? All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Sorry.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Your Honor, there is an agreement to enter an adjudication of guilt and impose 75 days in the Bexar County Jail. That's my understanding of the agreement.
All right, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 75 days in the Bexar County Jail, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and there's to be no contact with Elizabeth Flores. And is Ms. Flores aware of this agreement?
Your Honor, Ms. Flores, the last time we spoke to her, she had always expressed that she wanted the charges dismissed. We have not had recent contact with her.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. There's to be no contact with Elizabeth Flores. If she calls you and wants to get back together, do not do it, because there's a no contact order in place. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I will tell you something about relationships. Whatever your problem is in your relationship, if it's not addressed, it's still going to be there when you open a door. You understand? Don't be that person who's constantly in and out of jail. Good luck to you.
Mind if I speak?
Sure.
Now that I'm getting older, I am realizing that, have a couple of issues and trust issues that it's not fair to other people. So I'm understanding. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I can do to help me, like maybe couples counseling, marriage counseling, something that will at least give me an insight of some sort of stability.
Well, you know what I always tell people? Instead of doing couples counseling, the first person you need to work on is yourself.
That's what I mean.
And you need to love yourself and live by yourself. Some people can't live by themselves because they don't like themselves, or some people always feel like they need to be in a relationship and they need somebody. You need to learn how to be alone and just work on you. And then once you work on you and hopefully you're a better person, then you will attract the person that you're supposed to be with, hopefully.
That's why I said it. Now that I'm getting older, I'm 30 years old, so starting to see things from a different perspective, because I have none of my family members, so I have to give everybody my all, and it's not always like that. I understand that I'm just.
She's like,
And-
stop talking, stop
I
talking.
know. And if I could just also interject, just to reassure the court, he is not in a relationship anymore with Ms. Flores. I have known his current partner for years, and I will take the time to speak with both of them about resources that they can both use to have the most positive future ahead.
Thank you. And if you want things to work out, one of the things that will help you with patience, what plant should we get, Deputy Mejia? See, Deputy Mejia, maybe you need to work out on your relationship.
I thought
Get
you
an
were going to say
orchid.
marijuana.
Because,
Oh.
no marijuana. Get an orchid.
Maybe marijuana.
Yeah. Get an orchid. And you know why I say get an orchid? Because when you get them from the store, they're so beautiful. They're in bloom. You buy it, blooms fall off, and then for some reason you can't get them to bloom again. And so orchids take patience. You got to read instructions, give them the right amount of food. They don't like to be moved from place to place. So orchids really help you with patience. So if you get an orchid, when the blooms are on and the blooms fall off and you get that same orchid to rebloom again, then you may be ready for a relationship.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Ms. Franklin, you've been waiting patiently for Robert Rayna. I have read the documents. Oh, thank you, Ms. Leflin, you're excused.
No, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for working with me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's what we do here in the 187.
Thank you. I
All
really
right.
appreciate it. All right. Have a great day. Bye.
All right, you too. All right, I've been reading your documents in between, please. That's why it was taking so long for you to get called up, because I wanted to make sure I read everything.
Apologize again for the misunderstanding. At the time of the last setting, I did not have that clinical information.
Okay, because I was like, where's the information? I kept telling everybody, I don't have any information. All right, so we're on the record in 2022 CR 5519, State of Texas versus Robert Margarito Reyna. If I can have parties announced for the record for the state.
Deputy Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor. Tracy Franklin for defense.
And are you Mr. Rayna?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we were here because you entered a plea of guilty to DWI third with enhancement, and the court found you guilty, and the court found the enhancement true based upon your plea true, and the punishment was to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison, and the state opposed your application. And the court heard from the state their reasons for wanting you to go to prison, right? And so the court wanted the information about your cancer treatment. And there was no objections from the state to the court reviewing the documents, and the court has reviewed those documents. And I will tell you, Mr. Rayna, you should probably be going to prison. But this is not a capital murder. And I do know if I send you to prison, and this is my quandary, sometimes my hands are tied. This is my quandary with you. If I send you to prison, I know you're not going to get your clinical trials. I don't think at the prison, they're going to take you out once a day for you to go get your clinical trial for the cancer. I think that your being in the clinical trials may help other people who have the same issue. How did you get here today? Did you drive?
I did. I did.
Lift.
I'm sorry.
A lift.
Oh, he had a lift. All right, so here's the thing. I'm going to grant your application, but you're not going to be allowed to drive. So if you are driving, it doesn't matter to me if you're in a clinical trial or not. I'm going to strongly consider sending you to prison. So you're not allowed to drive. Do you understand? All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. there's a $2,500 fine that will be probated. There's $1,500 restitution to Vanessa Castillo. There's to be no driving for the length of probation. DWI intervention, VIP, 2 years Texas driver's license suspension. The 10 days in the Bexar County Jail, that will be waived due to medical condition, and you can say medical compassion. He's to report to probation by Zoom. And probation, I'm doing that by Zoom since he is receiving treatment. I'm sure his immune system is going to be low, and I'm trying to give him as least contact as possible with people. How are we going to do UAs? Because I want him to have, are they able to do UAs for him when he, because I know they run tests.
They will frequently be drawing blood. It's possible that it would be something.
Your Honor, the UAs, if he submits at our location, the amount of people much less than if he goes to the Recovery Healthcare Center.
Okay.
So he can report just on the days that he has to do his UAs. He can get with his officer to see when they are there during that week, and he can do it that way.
All right, so you can do a UA with probation, but call them beforehand and let them know what your condition is and that you should not be around a lot of people. Okay, so it'll be UA with probation. And how are you taking care of this alcohol problem that you obviously have?
I haven't learned since my condition. My taste buds it's not the same as it used to be. So I don't I was one certain thing I had certain foods that I didn't like, and the only thing that I really did is swallow it. Like I swallow it, and so sensitive to my neck, and it did, you know, and it's gone. It just throw that or anything, and it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he says that everything is very sensitive. And so the only thing he's been able to drink is water because everything else won't go down. See, people thought I couldn't hear. I did. All right, so we'll do the reporting then by Zoom, or either he can report the same time he does his UA. That can be considered as a report.
How often do you want the UAs? Monthly?
Yes. And then I'm not going to do the field visits because again, I'm trying to limit his contact with people.
Your Honor, we can do, if you wanted to implement the field visits, we can still do the field visits. The officers do not have to go into the home.
Okay, all right, let's do field visits. One time per month, and if you could let the officers know not to go in. So you may need to just wave from the window. And then the only reason why it appears he's not drinking is because of the taste buds and how it affects him. But is there some sort of online treatment he can do? Is there any type of online outpatient treatment or anything like that?
Well, just very briefly on it. He's on a very special restricted diet. He can't have alcohol if he wants to continue being part of this clinical trial. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I know people say, people do antabuse and they say, it tastes nasty, but they just keep drinking till. So,
Yeah, I can double check. I believe there is. He can also, there are specific AA meetings that we can monitor him online. So we can do the AA meetings online.
all right, we'll do AA meetings online. Is there anything else probation?
Do you want him to provide proof of it's ongoing, like every 3 months or 4 months?
You're gonna sign a medical release with probation. And you're to have updates provided to them monthly, okay? Okay. All right, is there anything else you need from me? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon and ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. All right. Okay. Yes, probation will go over conditions. Hi, Judge Saldana. I just have one plea to do. Hi. And that's for Mr. Hickman.
Yes, Sean.
All right. And then after that, we'll be on our break.
No, I'm just making sure it was done as you go through. We did real quick.
Norma, do you have an update on Eric Arocha? Do we finish that?
Yes.
Oh, we did. Thank you. And then Michael Cox. Oh, they'll have to do it later this afternoon then, during a court break. All right, and then Brandon Morris, he's in federal custody.
We're withdrawing NTR and terminating on staff. He's in federal custody, got sentenced to 108 months.
All right, thank you. Jason Garahan, you're just like on it.
And we do have Hickman's here. We do got the paperwork turned in, I believe. Sergio is here for Morris, Judge. We'll get that paperwork out.
All right, thank you. Okay. And Bashan, as soon as I get the motion to withdraw on Mr. Yes, I'll take care of it. Are then you're Dallas? Is that what you said? On Robert, you're Dallas. What's up with that?
I don't know. The one was in trial. Or he's still in trial. So I don't know about.
Okay, I'll make sure.
It could be, if you'll pull the file, I'll see it.
It's not-
Ah, okay.
That's why I looked at it before I was gonna tell you. Yeah, it's not even.
Okay. So he's in jury trial?
You can jury trial.
I know he did a motion or something.
Yeah, I don't see it updated in the system.
All right, if you can text him and find out, and we'll put that in. It wants to fall down. Judge Saldana, thank you for waiting.
No, Judge,
Thank you.
Doesn't need to wait around on Morris, right?
I did, it was.
No, Morris is done.
All right, thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate that. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one. The state should be doing sorry, yeah, probation should be having the motion.
Wants to get that copy or something like that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And on Stephen,
Mhm.
they came in and you granted that motion.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So that's been done.
Okay. So Hickman is the last thing? Hickman is the last thing?
Hickman's the last one.
Okay.
Besides whoever's waiting for their attorneys.
All right, those who are waiting on attorneys, you're gonna have to come back this afternoon.
And I think one of the females left, Celine. Did she know to come back in the afternoon or she just like, love that? Oh, well.
She was upset because I had both of
No.
them. She was weak.
I don't know which one to go back. She,
Oh, well, we'll see if she comes back this afternoon.
she said she was coming. Or Cornelius, is fine.
Mm.
He's not there, so you want me to reset that?
Oh, yeah.
Cancel and let him contact me again?
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's come back at
1:30. 1:30. So has Mr. Hickman been sworn already?
No. She just got the paperwork.
Okay. All right,
I
and
don't know which.
call Mac to get an attorney for him.
What's this one, Frank? A Roberto is over there.
What page is that on? Oh, no, they didn't do anything on it, so. That's from there.
Oh, I forgot to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So my attorneys who set motions, that's on them if they're not here for the motion.
And
So
what was the,
that's done, except for the female. She's in the hospital. Oh, he's not here. Just give me the violation report.
Well, it's not probably continuous. Yes. I told Mr. Cox to say his client, because he doesn't know that.
I got them all reacted. They're bringing it up now. It's like the couple of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were trying to get in, they won't let them in security. But they had the margarita machine.
All right, here you go. All right, are we ready on Hickman?
I'm on.
All right, thank you.
Good night. You do.
What are you gonna do?
Hey. Okay. I'm sorry, what? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you.
What is that? I'll take the deal. 71109.
All right. Oh, no, just keep going. You're welcome. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 8521 and 2022 CR 10323. State of Texas versus Jason Hickman. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense? And are you Mr. Hickman? Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, have you received all the discovery and that you review it with your client?
Yes, sure.
And each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hickman, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the cause number in 8521 state, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we're waiving the habitual offender enhancement allegation.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
And in cause number ending in 10323 state, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, again, we're waiving the habitual offender allegation.
No objection.
And in cause number ending in 10323 state, are you proceeding on both counts?
Judge, we were going to proceed on count one.
Any objection to the waiver of count two?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hickman, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled court's admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? And cause number ending in 8521, you're charged with aggravated assault against a public servant. That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison with up to a $10,000 fine. And the cause number ending in 10323, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand in each cause numbers, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
No.
Did you understand in each cause number by entering a plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of the cause numbers? Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
We've discussed possible defenses, Your Honor, that's correct.
In each of the cause numbers, do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
In each of the cause numbers, do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, it is, Your Honor.
Mr. Hickman, in each of the cause numbers, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Then each cause number, and are you U.S. citizens? In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it? In each of the cause numbers, punishments be assessed at 5 years in the prison. They will run concurrently. State will take in consideration 2022, 19325, 10324, 8519, 8520, 8518. County Court cause numbers 685-360, 685-362. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? In both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then in each cause number, how do you plea? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, do you have any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments in both cases.
No objections to any of the cause numbers.
Mr. Hickman, in each of the cause numbers, did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulation. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 in attachments and review the same. All right, in each of the cause numbers, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
And each of the cause numbers, the court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Each cause number will run concurrent and the court will take in the cause numbers that was previously recitated on the, or should I say recited? It's been a long day, recited on the record into consideration. And each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right. Good luck with you. All right. Do better. How old are you?
Old enough to know better.
Yeah, but you see, you're old enough to know better, but you should be old enough to do better too, okay?
Sure.